All right, Josh, I opened your stuff. Where is it? Uh, you're in really good shape. This looks awesome. So you played with dimensions.
Yeah, well, this was just one of the mock-up that from that site. I've used Dimension before. I just kind of wanted to play with some of those the PSD mock-ups with the smart objects, and I think these turned out really cool. Like I like the way they did the lighting on them.
Yeah. Well, and it's got that Mylar packaging, which is kind of what coffee would really be in.
Yeah.
Julian did the same thing, same
hmm
type of material. Uh, and these cans look really awesome.
Yeah. When I first made the logo, this is kind of what I had pictured in my head. So
Right.
I'm like,
Like
I have to do it now. So
Monster Energy drink.
yeah.
So when I have not worked very much with Dimension. Uh, so you pick the template and then just design right into it in
Yeah. I mean, with these were still with just a regular PSD mock-up where I kind of just I placed them into the same
oh,
box. But
right.
but Dimension still, I mean, I've used it in the past where it's like, yeah, you pick like a solid object or a 3D object, and then from there you kind of wrap your design around it and you can rotate it and stuff and
So
change the
do you work your design in Illustrator and then bring it into
yeah,
Dimension?
these were kind of the same exact, like these specific ones were pretty much the same exact as the other packaging thing. Like I copied my Illustrator and then
Ah,
pasted the vector
mhm.
into Photoshop. When I'm assuming you can do the same in Dimension too. If anything, you might have to import a file rather than copy paste, but I don't know for sure.
And then you found some mock-ups.
Yeah, I just thought it was kind of fun.
I love this Wake the Dead. I think this has a real viability.
I wish I
uh,
knew about brewing coffee.
all right.
Starting,
So here's my critique.
yes.
Um, Everywhere you have this sort of like floating in the page,
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to make it full screen, right?
Okay.
Um, in fact, I mean, I don't know that you need the template pieces. Like you could just go full up if you wanted. But I
Okay.
would also maybe consider environments, like, well, maybe just on this one, like
Mm-hmm.
giving it an environment to put it in,
Okay.
similar to, like this is what Jonathan did.
I gotcha. Yeah, I
See,
can try
his is
that.
in full, it's 16 by 9 is the template size. So you just, like, if you start working in Photoshop, just make your canvas 16 by 9
Mm-hmm.
and then go to town. And so when you bring it in here, it'll fill the whole frame.
Okay. Yeah, I can play with it.
Uh, who else? So, yeah, Julian, I already talked to you. Michael. Michael, you got any work in progress for to look at?
Actually, I've been still trying to finish all of my stuff up.
Is there like something you need to do, you learn better, or is it just you've got to make time and have it happen?
It's something I guess I kind of need to like talk to you in private about it.
Okay, I got it. Just hang out after class and we'll talk, all right? I assume that's a yes. Um, all right, I'm just gonna, for the recording, I'm just gonna go through the rest of the students' work so they get some feedback as well. So Sai, Babylon Soap, uh, couple things. Color, you want to have good contrast. You've got this kind of orange color in the background, and then your logo has orange type. So there's not that much contrast. This blue is a terrific contrast to this orange. So in the sort of like view of hierarchy of color, Natural Bar Soap stands out way more than your logo type, which is kind of the opposite of what you want. So I would consider a different background color, perhaps, if you want to keep this type in the orange color. Um, and you've demonstrated that this blue works really well. Maybe it's all solid blue, and maybe Natural Bar Soap is in white. Uh, Second, the layout of the front of the package. So you've got, like, if you think of this as a page layout, you've got these two big centered things, and then you've got one sort of stripe of type made with cinnamon oil just sort of hovering down there. You want to rethink this as a page layout, right? So I would probably put natural bar soap on one line and have it be less, dominant. This made with cinnamon oil looks really odd going vertically. Sometimes that works, but in this case, I don't think it does. This could be sort of grouped together and maybe stacked and maybe becomes a sort of emblem or something. If you look at existing package designs, you can find sort of ideas for how to lay this out. And you could also add some imagery that would help sell the product. So if there's, you want to show the benefit of a soap product. If I go to, go to the die line. I didn't really show you guys this before. So this is the die line, which is a professional website for package design. And I'm going to put in soap as a search and see what it comes up with. So now I can see sort of soap products to get an idea of what other people are doing. Let's see, category. And this looks like a lot of alcohol. They keep changing the way this site works. So there's bar soap. Okay, so you see how they have this like organic thing with a tree. They've got little information here. So the staging of the information so that you get everything in an organized way. This is not the greatest example. Come on, give me some soap. Where is it? I'll look at beauty. Beauty and health. Yeah, so it could have sort of a clean look if you want. Look at this one. This is like wonderful illustration. Great, beautiful gradients. Maybe there's some good gradients, but you see how the logo is dominant. There's a nice, intriguing illustration. Then the information sort of organized out of the way. So go to the die line, check out stuff for inspiration and ideas. Did any of the other of you look at any of this stuff? It was in the links of the additional resources.
I didn't know about this site. It looks cool though. I'll have to bookmark it.
Yeah, the die line. Like student and concept. All right. So this is student work. I think you should enter, Josh.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Don't downsell yourself.
Yeah, really. The problem is you get featured on here. When I tell students to go look here, there'll be some student who's doing Osiris Coffee and will see your work and be like, should I give up now?
That's
Feel the vibe. This is fun illustration. So it's a bit of salesmanship. You want to like get people excited about your product, and they should see something on the front of it that draws them in. You know, this is for athletes, like it kind of like is warm sore muscles or something. Like I just made this up. So maybe there's some, people working out, something, Peloton type images or something like that. I would play with that. You got to have 3 versions. You got 1 so far. So have some fun with some of these other ideas. Here's your final. Well, that's just that one page again. All right, so there's 3 versions now, different flavors of color. Obviously, this one, the legibility is the worst on that one. It's a little better there, not so much here. So think about the color attributes I was talking about, but also selling your product. What's going to draw people into that? And Giancarlo, you changed the font. That looks a lot better than it was. I'm still not convinced, like this cookie image that seems kind of a little odd, but especially if it's just chopped off like that. It looks like you added some sort of texture to the green area, but it's okay. I like this way better with an image. This definitely draws you in. This weird purple color. I'm sure you found this image somewhere. I mean, and if you created it, all the better. But yeah, making a weird alien landscape would be a terrific idea. So I'm hoping you made these images, but and then do a composite, like I talked about, with like everything in place. Josh, all right, Tammy. All right, so Tammy, you're giving me screenshots of your whole screen. At this point, you should be able to export these pages from InDesign. You should place your Illustrator files directly in InDesign and present them that way, because the way they are here, it's a little hard to see. So this has you've added some secondary elements that help it. The legibility here is really poor. This just feels like a bad cluster of objects. I would sort of arrange the page a little better. You want to give a descriptor line, because this is plantain chips with lime. It's not just chips. This pattern with the leaves it's a well done pattern, but I'm not sure quite how it relates to your brand. So from a branding standpoint, it's a bit weak, but you're making progress. It's good. This one's the best one in terms of concept, but for execution, it needs a little more craftsmanship, cleanup. The word chips going over the chips just disappears a little bit. Of course, you understand that I'm not a fan of your logo, and you keep using it, but it is what it is at this point. So maybe darken up these trees a little bit. And the waves look like shark fins. Let's figure out a nicer wave to create and then make a pattern brush out of it, so that you're not, it looks like it's kind of changing from wave to wave. Also, you got to put everything into InDesign and make a PDF. So no more screenshots of the whole screen like this. I hope that's helpful. All right, Hunter, you're off to a good start. There's one. Again, shaman tea, the American Southwest. There's some great imagery, different things that you could use in here to really intrigue people. This ginger tea, I would put that in a more normal font, and don't use your logo font as a secondary font. Just let it be the logo font. The words could really be a lot bigger compared to this. If you go to the die line, let's look at tea, coffee and tea, beverage. Secondary, like these images, key images, like botanicals and stuff might be interesting. I guess this is an alternative to coffee. I'm still drinking the regular. So ginger tea, maybe there's some pictures of ginger. So look around the die line, see if you find some interesting inspiration there in the categories of beverage, tea, all that. And you got to have, this looks like you've got all the correct elements. You've got all the ingredients. It's like a cooking show. You've got it all there. Now make something fabulous out of it. Just add some imagery, add some stuff to make it really stand out. All right. In terms of what's left to do between now and Sunday, you're going to make a presentation, record a video presentation, submit that and the PDF of your presentation template to the week for, the final, right? Yeah. InDesign. I know Omar showed you how to make a presentation. Does anybody have any questions about that? He showed you that in week 1. Same way you did your hero portrait. I'm going to show you a little bit of an alternative. I'm just here in InDesign. InDesign has so many great features. So if I make a text frame, and here is my great video presentation. All right, I can make this bigger, please. So you could add a page to your presentation template and put some words on the page and create, here we go to window, hyperlinks, interactive hyperlinks. So there it is, window interactive hyperlinks. When you do this, it gives you this little window. Now what you can do is, now say I have a video already prepared. By the way, if you don't have a YouTube channel, you should get one. But all right, so if I want to, say I wanted to include this video, I gotta share, copy the link, go back to InDesign and paste that link in here. So now this becomes a link. Now, if you notice to put an underline under it, that's the default style. You can change the style of the type if you want. You can style this type any way you want. But what happens is when I go to export this, I go to the export, Command E, and under here, under format, I want to choose interactive, Adobe PDF interactive. I'm saving this to my desktop, but you should save it. Last name, first name, presentation. And it gives it all the stuff that I need to make an interactive PDF, excuse me. All right, so I'll go to this page. Now you see that when the cursor turns into a little hand, and I click on that. Now, this is from Acrobat. It's saying, this thing is trying to connect to the internet. Do you really want to do that? It's just going to do that for everybody based on their own Acrobat settings, but it's not a worry. I say allow, and it didn't work. I think that I typed I pasted in a double HTTP. So I can go back to my InDesign document. Yeah, see, I pasted it with HTTPS twice. So I'm going to delete this. So don't do that. And now it's done. No. Delete that. Return. There we go. All right. Now, export interactive PDF. Replace my untitled one document. Export. Okay. Yours will take longer because it has more stuff in it. So now, click. Still not working. It does work. I've used it many times, I assure you. Yeah, there's something wrong with my address in InDesign, so. That is the address. It looks different. All right. Let's see if we get it the third time. All right. So I'll have to do some investigation why that's not working. I'm not going to take your time up with that. Here's what you should do. A couple things you should know. How many of you have a YouTube channel? You do, Josh?
I have one.
Yeah. Upload your video to YouTube and supply the video link. You can do it just in the discussion, in the completion box with the assignment, and I'll be able to see it. I've used interactive PDFs from InDesign many times. My resume is like that. Like if you click on my name on the resume, it goes to my website, you know? So I know it works. I'm not sure why it's not working at this moment. InDesign made some update, you know, like they made major updates this week to all the apps. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Yeah, I was going to show you just for fun this Photoshop file. This is my daughter. They had these new neural filters. Did you guys see this yet?
I saw it. I haven't messed with it yet, but it looks pretty crazy.
Stop me if you've heard this. Yeah. Filter, neural filters. So these are they're beta testing them. So some of them are kind of fun. This is a smart portrait. Turn that on. It has a happiness setting. So I can make my daughter happy by just sliding that up. And now it's like, it's thinking about it. Takes a minute. The results are kind of amazing considering how quickly it does it. So it's generating teeth. And obviously you can do the opposite as well. Not so happy. Yeah. Facial age. This one doesn't work so well with this picture, but if you can make people look older if you want. This really just kind of made her look fatter. I guess that's what happens when you get older, but yeah. See, now she's like a middle-aged housewife. It's fun. I don't know what you'd use this for in a practical sense, like in the world of design. I mean, if you had a portrait of somebody and they really need to be a little bit happier, you could just boost it a little bit so it's not so dramatic and it would look probably okay. But those are fun. They have this makeup transfer where you can transfer, take the makeup from one person and place it onto another. So you can think of creative ways to do that too. That will be fun. This face cleanup actually works pretty well. So they have these feedback things. So you can provide Adobe with feedback on how you want these apps, these filters to work. Skin smoothing. This is disturbing to me. So because my daughter looks like she's middle-aged there, but anyway. So this is kind of like our last meeting, and I'm, any questions you guys have, anything you want to talk about? Otherwise, we're going to wrap it up, and I'll see all your work on Sunday when you get everything done. Still don't know why this isn't working. Maybe it's the way I made the PDF.
I really have a couple of personal issues like Michael.
Yes. So how about I talk to Michael, and then I'll connect with you on Slack. I'll give you another Zoom link, and we can hook up later. All right, Julian?
Yeah, that works for me. Perfect. I just wanted to say too, I don't know if this might not be the problem, but the YouTube link might not be working because the video isn't listed on actual YouTube. Like, see how on the title it says unlisted because it's like it's yours, but
Oh yeah. So all unlisted means is it's not indexing Google searches.
okay.
Yeah.
I was just I don't know.
Oh, I appreciate it. It says this is working. That's the green. Let me try it one more time.
Yeah, maybe if you try the top link instead of like the short link, that might work too, where it has like the watch in the title. That might also change it.
You're talking about on
Like rather than grabbing the link from the share button, maybe just from like the browser bar.
oh yeah.
That might work.
Let's try that. YouTube. All right. So this copy. You know what? I think you might be right, Michael. No.
Wow.
Anyway, you see in theory how that works. When I figure out what's wrong with this, I'll let everyone know in the, I'll send an announcement out. But I will troubleshoot that.
Cool.
All right. So go on, do great work. I look forward to seeing your final projects. You can always reach out to me. You don't have to drop off of Slack, the Color Theory channel. If you don't want to, after you're done with this class, you can stay on there and see what's happening and what people are doing, and get in touch with me anytime.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. All right. I'm going to end the recording.